Greetings, my name is Jay, and welcome to The Immortal Let's Play for the Nintendo Entertainment System. The Immortal is a game that was originally released for the Apple IIG and was ported over to a lot of different consoles and different computer systems, which I found very interesting because during this time, generally, if a game came out unless it was by a large company, like a third-party company, the game was generally only released on the one computer system or the one console, unless it's like a sports game or something like that by EA. And it was released for just consoles and not the PC. But this game actually had ports to the Amiga, the Atari ST, the Nintendo, the Genesis or Mega Drive. I'm familiar with the DOS version, the Nintendo version, which we're playing today, and the Genesis version, which I also have. And the game is notorious for its high difficulty level. Back in the mid 90s, I used to hand this game over to friends because I thought the game was actually pretty cool. And because of its puzzles and its isometric view, which I'm a very big fan of that style of game. And the graphics are fairly good for the Nintendo because they're fairly detailed. And my friends would usually promptly just return the cartridge a day or two later saying, "Nope, that game's too hard. I don't even understand what I'm supposed to do." I have the Nintendo version complete in box, which does help you, but still it's a little elusive as to what you're supposed to do. Because the in-game plot lines for this, interestingly, as a side note, they change depending on what version you're playing. So if you're playing like the DOS or Genesis version, I think they're fairly identical. But like the Atari ST and the Amiga version, the combat's on the actual overmap instead of it being their combat screen, which I think is kind of interesting. The text is a little bit different, and that's especially true for the Nintendo version. The Nintendo version is missing one level, some of the dialogue is missing, or it's different. And it's just a little confusing to put the pieces of the puzzle together sometimes, and it's just really a trial and error. So the back of the box tells you that you're a mighty wizard in search of your lost master Mortimer. And you venture into the dungeon to solve mysteries for each level, and that's basically your objective. And the manual goes over telling you that you're traveling to this place called Enrock or Aaronrock, and it's this fabled city that your master used to tell you about that was scorched by dragonfire 1,000 years ago, and you think basically that your master might be here, and that's why you're in this dungeon. What you see here now is a password screen. So if you beat a level, you'll get a certificate. And the certificate will have information like what level you're in and what your health is and what items you picked up during the level. It'll allow you to just start at a certain level. So if you just hit end at the very beginning without putting in a code, it'll start you into the first room. And this is what the game looks like. So it's an isometric perspective, and you just move your wizard around with a directional pad. Start will pause the game, and you can either restart the level or not. If you hit the select key, this is your inventory. As you pick up more items in the game, they'll appear here. If there's more than one page, you can select more to go to different pages. And if you press the A or B button, it will fire these little fireballs. In the Nintendo version, the fireballs don't really do much, except for they help vanquish these little vampire bats that run around and attack you and leech your health really, really quickly. In my opinion, that's what makes the game really difficult, is those stupid vampire bats. Because if you can't angle it correctly and get them, they'll take away half your life, and if you get into a battle, then it'll make it very difficult for you. So the only warning that this game gives you, and again, this game is notorious for killing you in any way that it can, is this warning right here. It might be a good idea to move. So if you don't move, or you continue to move onto that little 2x2 square, a worm will come out of the ground and kill you. I don't have save states, so I'm not going to be showing you every single death in the game, because it's going to be really tedious for me to do. Okay, so an image of the old wizard Mortimer leaps from the candle and begins to speak. "Dunrick, you have come to save me. I am in the dungeons far below. I know I can count on you. This explains your old teacher's mysterious disappearance, but there's one thing strange about the message. Your name is not Dunrick. So here we know that we're in the right place now, but who's Dunrick? Well, this might be Dunrick here. The reason why I say that is we find the body of a slain soldier, and there's a ring with Dunrick name on it. So first thing you should do, the first thing that you should do is come down here and fight this goblin here. So the green bars are your health, and then the red bar that you'll see appearing is a fatigue bar. So as you miss, the fatigue will go up. Fatigue doesn't go up as fast if you use a lot of swipes and contact, but it goes up like half a point usually, depending on the character, if they miss. On the first level with the goblins, what I find easy to do is just right away continue to attack them from the wizard's left by holding the left button and then the B button attacks. To dodge, what you do is you hold the A button and you either hit left or right to dodge. There's also a jab. I see you have come. You must rescue Mortimer. He is captive many levels below. The entrance to the lower levels is hidden. Here's a key which you will need. I must go now. So that key opens up a chest. So what I was saying is that... What was I saying? Oh, you can also jab just by pressing the attack button and not left and right. Generally, I find that it doesn't work against the bad guys unless it's like the last attack. It is locked, but you have the key. Yes, I'll open it. So we find 20 gold, and we find a bag of bait, and a bag of spores. So you're going to want to pick up every item in this game, because if you don't, it will prevent you from solving a puzzle later in the game. So the spores, for example, you need in the next level, and the bait you need in like the third or second last level. So again, I'm just attacking from the right, and generally with the goblins, it kills them right away. Sometimes it doesn't, but I like to take my chances. If you notice it missing once, I would keep on trying, but if you miss like 2 or 3 times in a row, try the other side. Just continue attacking from the left. So as your fatigue bar increases to about halfway, if you're still missing, you might want to back off a little bit and then let the goblin attack you. So whenever you're dodging, if they're done their attack pattern, reset yourself in the middle, because otherwise they will attack you from the side that you're dodging. Because the AI just seems to like to do that. Especially the trolls, which are in a later level. So you find a note. Danger of attack by shades. They are invisible in dark rooms, but their shadows are visible by torchlight. And we're going to search him, and of course we're going to take the key. So it's locked, we're going to open it. We find a bottle, and a charm spell. So we're going to need the charm spell in the next level. That little black thing is a vampire bat. Okay, so here, if you touch any of those little area where the plates are moving up and down, all of a sudden arrows that are insta-death will come into the room. Oh, stupid vampire bats. Okay, come up to the side and hug the wall up until you reach the end of this third wall. And as soon as you walk, run like hell and dodge the arrows and get into this room. This room, this half of the room is pits. This half is not. Come over to the left and come down. Here, barely move, highlight this, then walk straight down the middle and avoid those dots like crazy, because those are shades and they're annoying because you cannot see them. Even if you increase the brightness of your screen, you can't see them. They're they don't have a sprite. If you get hit in a pit, just keep on pressing the A button and hopefully you'll get out. Okay, so we have the key. Now we're going to come over here. So this is where the manual is kind of useful. I'm going to pause it just so that vampire bat doesn't spawn. So this is where the manual is kind of useful, because the second half has Codex of the Serpent, and it's basically clues for every level on how to beat it. And it's very reminiscent of games of this time, because like Pool of Radiance or Curse of the Azure Bond, Secret of Silver Blades, Bard's Tale, and so on. Many of the PC games on 5 1/4-inch floppy disks didn't have enough memory in order to actually give you all the information. So what they did was give you a clue book with the game, and you'd have to read the clue book in order to solve the puzzles, or you would just have to know what to do, or trial and error, basically. And this game is basically the same thing. A lot of trial and error. So the thing the manual says that there's light that hits this part of this dais every 1,000 years. So what we're going to do is we're going to increase, and you can see the little dot beside his feet. So here, I'm pointing to the screen, you can't even see me. Okay, so here you want to use the amulet. You hold it up to the light here. Yes? So we're going to angle the light to the right way, and there's an incantation. Never read this, it will destroy everything, including the reader of the incantation in the room. So we're not going to read it. And it opens up the stairwell to get to the next level. With the stairs, be very, very careful, because if you don't come in from the right angle, you will just fall down. So this is our last battle, except for maybe that little vampire bat that I saw. Bam. Okay, so with the hay, you just stand on it for a couple seconds, and you'll sleep. Looks like I got rid of the vampire bat. And so, the straw is small but welcome comfort in your first day's travel. You drift into an uneasy slumber, wondering about Mortimer. Where is he now? Can you rescue him? You dream of dangers that lie ahead. So you get back like 1.5 of those little boxes. I paused it because there's a vampire bat. 1.5 of those little boxes, and in order to for your health, and you can see your health. I don't know if I mentioned this. It's in the bottom right. And the dream sequences that just happened is really what the only in-game plot is. There's a little bit of extra plot in some of the other games, as I mentioned before, and there's a little bit of hints and extra plot in the manual, which is kind of a relic of this era, because it was the cool thing to do, I guess. And once you go down these stairs, ta-da, there we go, level 1 without much difficulty. Alright, so there's your certificate. I'm going to put this in the description notes of the second video, and so on and so forth for the following one, so that if you want to play through each of the different levels, then you can just use the same certificates if you want to skip to a certain one. That's the first level of the Immortal. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, or at least found it useful. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.